Well, Milad Kojar is a political analyst and visiting lecturer on Middle East geopolitics at the EM Normandy Business School. He joins us now live from France. Thanks so much for your time. When it comes to the powerhouses of Europe, France, Germany, for now the UK, the relationship with the US, as we saw in that report, has obviously suffered. What are some of the biggest issues driving a wedge there?
Well, there are several issues in which the European Union and the Trump administration have huge differences. There's, for example, the nuclear deal with Iran, in which the Europeans have reaffirmed that the deal is working and that it would be a mistake to exit a working deal with Iran. Diplomacy took over 12 years to get to this result of the nuclear deal. Also on other issues, of course, climate change, and Paris was the leader for this with the Paris Agreement, and the fact that Donald Trump ended the U.S. participation to this global agreement is also an issue of concern for France, but also on free trade, but basically what President Macron was insisting on is a struggle between multilateralism and unilateralism. For example, on the status of Jerusalem, it was criticized by President Macron because it was a unilateral move by the Trump administration. And of course, this was condemned by the United Nations Security Council. And this is where we can see a sort of isolation, which is something new. The U.S. being isolated on the global stage when it comes to such critical decisions.
Yeah, I mean, unilateralism seems to be a theme of the Trump administration, even within, internal politics. Let's talk, though, about that, about the Iran nuclear deal. Do you think there will be European efforts to restore the damage the U.S. has done there?
Well, the European, in my view, believe that there is an opportunity to step up on the international scene because of the withdrawal of the United States when it comes to its commitment. The European Union are now more united than ever in order to protect a deal that is so important for the region, for the Middle East, but also abroad, because the European Union has for a neighbor, the neighbor of the European Union is the Middle East, one of them, of course. And with this non-proliferation agreement, this is a guarantee that on security issues, there will not be a nuclear arms race in the region. So this is a very important point for the European Union. And the stability of the Middle East is also critical to the European Union, because the European Union is facing a refugee crisis coming from the instability of the Middle East. And this is creating also political issues. We have seen with Germany the fact that the refugee crisis was a huge political debate for the last elections. It is also the case in France and in other countries, but also for security reasons. If there is instability in the Middle East, the risk of instability inside Europe is also greater. So on those main issues, we see the difference, the huge difference between the interests of the European Union and the interests of the United States.
Thanks so much for that analysis. That's Milad Kojar, a political analyst and visiting lecturer on Middle East geopolitics.